time out. Wait a minute. So here's the problem with that. If you don't vote at all, okay, I'll start it like this. Give me three things that you want the most out of this entire establishment.
I can give you one.
No, okay, give me one.
Only thing I want is for our nation to stand on their own and stop thinking we have to depend on somebody else. That's it. That's one thing I want.
In order for that to happen, that takes us as a whole to stick together and do it, which is not going to happen. Now, in order for us to get recognized, we need to step up, stick together, and put a foot on the table. Angela says we aren't organized as people like our grandparents. And she also believes we need change in our mindset as far as the blame game. And then we have Cheryl, who says Georgia's gave us a good lesson about how much we can accomplish if we come together as a people. Agree with that, because now with those two Democrats winning in Georgia, a lot of the bullshit, I will say, that happened over the last 4 years is going to change. They're not going to be pushing just whoever and fighting whatever, because that's what they can and want to do because they have the majority. Now we definitely have a dog in the fight as far as what needs to be done to benefit us all more so. And that is totally important. But again, you keep alluding to we need to stand on our own. We need to stand on our own. We need to stand on our own. Unless we do a mass exodus out of this country into some uncharted territory, it ain't going to happen. It's just not going to happen, period. Being that you pay taxes, they take taxes out of your check. Let me tell you, I made over 100,000 and they took about 30,000 of that in taxes. Am I happy? No.
Let me get a donation, man. You make 100,000. Let me get a donation.
I'm not happy about that. But the problem is, if we don't have enough people in the right places, none of that is going to change. It's okay to be militant, but unless you get a job or unless you have a corporation to where you could bend the tax laws and whatever in your favor, you have no choice but to be a part of this system. You keep saying that, why are we a part of something that's not for us? Okay, well, if you stop paying taxes, you might lose your house, you might lose your car. You don't pay your tax, you're going to lose your car. You know, you get your driver's license suspended, this, that, and the other. You can't work, you can't do this, you can't do that. With that being said, you have no choice but to be a part of this system. And if you have no choice but to be a part of this system, then you might as well be an active member in this system. It doesn't matter if you don't like voting or whatever the case may be. You're not going to get out of this system unless you go to another country, give up your citizenship here, be a citizen of another country, and be like, you know what, deuces, America ain't for me. Period. That's the only way that's going to change. It's not going to follow that way. And since the majority of us have no other identity other than being American citizens, why do we keep saying, I don't want this? This ain't for me. We have to put our foot down and make change. Again, the alphabet community done it. The women have done it. The Jewish have done it. And you keep saying they circulate their dollars in their community. But again, that has nothing to do with the system. That has something to do with the people.
And they like our dollars too.
Say that again.
I said they like our dollars too.
Exactly. Everybody likes the black dollar.
They love our dollars. I mean, we do have a whole Jewish community in New Haven, and one of the biggest ones is Jewish who has rental property, and majority of them are in that urban portion of the city who they rent to. I wouldn't rent to them because they're slumlords, but they don't care, right? But if you go into the Jewish section of New Haven, it's very neat. In fact, most of the houses are the same color because you know that's the community that you're in. But when they rent, which they want our dollar, it's a totally different dynamic.
And getting back to that point, if as a Black community we keep saying, "Oh, this is not for us. I'm not going to be a part of that. I'm not going to be a part of that." Again, what do you expect to establish? Because if 50 of us say, or 100,000 of us say, "Oh, this system ain't for us. We're not going to do this. We're not going to do that," but you try to do something over here. But wait a minute, how are you trying to open your business and you don't want to be a part of the system? You have to be a part of the system to do anything here. You just cannot check the hell out of the system and say you're going to accomplish all these goals, especially when nobody in your racial background is being a cohesive unit. You have to stick together. You have to do that. So if let's just say every Black person in here said, "Oh, you know what? This ain't for us. We're not going to be a part of it." That ain't going to help us none. We still have to pay taxes. We still have to survive. We still have to shop. How many goddamn Black stores do you think are going? You know, how many Black stores prosper now? Where's Carl Kanai? Where's Fubu? Where are all of those? They're gone.
They all sold out.
They're gone. Why? Because we don't stick together. That's the problem. Right. They were a part of the system. They know damn well they can't do this without being part of the system. But again, when you have Jewish, when you have Africans, when you have Hispanics, they come over here. You got 4, 5, 10 people in a damn house. Why? Because they can build something together. If you have 5 people in a goddamn house and the mortgage is $1,200, how much goddamn mortgage is each person paying? They're sticking together. They're building something. You know what? Give them a year. Give them 2 years of doing that. 5 people with let's just say a $40,000 income. And look at 50 houses like that. Black people don't do that. So you can't say it's the system. You can't say that.
Oh, Laura, you preaching with that one. And
so
like
here's my thing, right?
I love some of the comments too, though, and I appreciate all the people who's listening in and commenting, and so I appreciate your support.
Anyone who feels that they want to work within the system, not be a part of the system, be a part of the system, pay the taxes. I mean, the list goes on. If that's your choice, that's your choice. Evidently, I don't have a choice because I do pay taxes. But that's kind of ironic to me that
discussion notes on the screen right now.
Okay, so you can't beat the system unless you're a part of the system. This way you can make the change you want. My question is, how does it benefit us not to participate in the system? It's a good question.
Yeah, it's great.
And my answer is this. Why do we always have to stay a part of the system? Can we not work within the confines of the system until we get to a place where we don't have to partake in the system? Let me finish. What I'm saying to you is, we see the Chinese community do it. We see the Arab community do it. We see all these communities that are within the system, working within the system, but still aren't a part of the damn system.
They are.
Do you follow what I'm saying?
They are.
The difference is what I'm trying to explain to everyone is here. Because they stick together, they get what they want. Whether we stick together or we don't stick together, we still don't get what we want. How do that make sense? Other than let's do our own damn thing.
But they had to start somewhere.
We can't do our own thing if we're not in the system. I'll
And
let
you,
somebody else take the next comment right here.
okay, this is from Katrina. Yes, all the Black Stars stores are gone, which forces us to shop in other culture stores. That's why we have Asian beauty supply store. I'm glad she mentioned that. So I want to take that one because she mentioned the beauty supply store. So again, I only speak to things that I know. If I don't really know or if it's hearsay, I'll let you know that it's hearsay. So in downtown New Haven, shout out to Beauty Plus. That is a all African American store, beauty supply store. And she had told me a lot of times she can't even get some of the products that we want to buy because it's already taken up by the Asian businesses and their suppliers, or if she can get it, it is a higher price than what any customer or consumer is going to want to pay, which again still stagnates her because she is the only one in our city or in that block of downtown. So that's definitely true, which forces us to buy from other places. I believe even King mentioned a lot of things he gets on Amazon, because of that. So I do still feel that we need a seat at the table so we can make moves. So all those things that are being said or thrown out to stimulate our community and our economy, we just need seats at the table so we can go ahead and make those moves. Just like if you're mentioning other cultures doing that.
And let me jump in on that because, I went out to learn how to do hair because my thing was, if anything goes left, I need to have more skills. So, I had somebody teach me how to do, 2-strand twists, and all this, that, and the other. And my mindset was, what if I can't continue to do what the hell I'm doing right now? I need something else to do. And, the Asians have this locked down. Why?
Thank you, Andrew.
Because they learned how to work the system. They jumped in the system. They said, hey, you know what? They need this. They want that. Let me put myself in this position to provide them what they need. And a lot of our people didn't want to do those things. So since they did not want to do those things, they capitalized that market. And now we can't get in, which to your point, drives up the prices for this, that, and the other. We got another comment from Cheryl. Do we really want separate systems? Why can't we fight to be on an equal plane with everyone else in the system? Those other people have learned to work the system to benefit, which we can do the same. And that again is to my point. If we have two separate systems, like seriously, if we have two separate systems, that is really not going to benefit us as Black people. I promise you it's not. I say that because of Tulsa. I say that because of everything that happened in Florida. I say that because of what happened in Slocum, Texas. I put up a podcast on our thing about Slocum, Texas. So the problem is they don't want us to achieve. They don't want us to exceed. They don't want us to have this footing out there. So if we're trying to have a separate system because they're the majority and because we don't stick together, it ain't going to happen. It's just not going to happen. So if we keep saying, oh, we don't need to be a part of it, we don't need to be a part of this. Okay, well, again, if you look at the Jewish, if you look at how much they own, if you look at how much power they have, it's not because they said, I don't want to be a part of this system. It's because they said, let's stick together. And when we get enough money, we can have say-so in the system. If you look at Hispanics, they don't say, oh, I don't want to be a part of this system. They say, let's stick together and we can have all this, that, and the other, and we can have a voice. If you look at, out here in Maryland, if you go into any 7-Eleven, I don't know about anywhere else, but I know in Maryland, they're owned by people from the Middle East. Why? Because they said, if we stick together and we do X, Y, and Z, we have this footprint. I work in DC. Dunkin' Donuts down there is owned by people from the Middle East.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because they said, we can come here, we can stick together, we can do X, Y, and Z, we can get this, that, and the other, and we can go about our business. And their dollar stays within them. But again, if we're not doing what they're doing, and it's like we've been here a whole lot longer than a lot of them, and we ain't learned better yet. What's wrong with us that we can't look and be like, you know what? We need to do better. It makes no sense that we don't do better. Angela says they price us out of the system and they work together. This is what I think X is trying to say. Again, and again, we agree with you. But the bottom line is, if we're not sticking together, if we're not saying let's make the system work for us, we're not getting anywhere. Period.
More, I agree with you. I think that this discussion could go on for hours. I really do. It's kind of like one of those things that we learned through our last discussion about this, is that no matter which direction we go in, we have to stick together. With that being said, I want our listeners to know, me personally, Son Lex, I have nothing against any race of people. Nothing. I have nothing but love for my fellow citizens and my fellow mankind. I have nothing against anyone for their sexual orientations or what goes on in your bedroom. Is none of my damn business. What I'm simply saying to my people is, if we keep saying we can't, we won't, it won't happen, then no, sir, it will not happen. But once we come together, as my brother King has said, and we devise a system where we as a nation can thrive, can grow, can become the real kings and queens that we are of this nation, then nothing's going to happen. I'm not trying to offend anyone with my own personal view. So, with that being said, I will pass the mic.
Oh, I think at the end of the day, I mean, I agree. I totally agree with your position. I totally do. And it's not that, you know, I don't want anybody to think that we're arguing, there's bickering between us, because, we me and you, we alone have a 30-year friendship, family ship, or whatever the case may be.
True that.
At the end of the day, we can't sit here and say we can't. We can also say we can't, because at the end of the day, we won't, and we don't, and we haven't. As a Black community, period, all nonsense aside, as a Black community, if we are not making our presence felt and known, we're not going to thrive. If you really look at how things are today, I mean, if you really look at it, you see how, even with our music, they've been stealing it forever. But let's just look at rap music. If you look at rap music, you see how it
Glad to
started.
hear that, Katrina.
There was never a radio station for rap music. There was never anything blah, blah, blah for rap music. It's $1 billion industry that we've given away. Why? Because them jokers said, hey, here's a few dollars. Take this. You can have this money. You can have this. You can have that. And you look at so many Black rappers or entertainers who have been played by the system. Why? Because they're chasing the dollar. They're not putting that dollar back in the community. They're not. And it's not the system's fault 100%, because if one person said, hey, they sticking me, then another person come along and be like, I just want to get in there, get this money, blah, 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 get this advance. They get in there. Oh, damn, they sticking me. And then you have 30, 40, 50 rappers who are doing the same thing. And now in the last, 5-10 years, now they getting that cheddar from their contribution to the system, but they're not bringing that dollar back to the community. They're not bringing a dollar back to the community. You cannot keep blaming the system. You can't. You have to blame those people who are making those dollars and not putting it in our communities. I'm telling you, you have Future, you have Cardi B, you have Lil Nas X, you have all of these people out here making these dollars. How many of them actually are bringing them back to the community? Not very many. Queen Latifah brings her dollars to the community in Newark, New Jersey. How many others can you say are doing that? You can't. You can't say that they are doing that in mass. And if they were doing that in mass, we would have a stronger Black community. Also, at the fiber of the Black community, if they were in a mindset of, you know what, let me leave the weed alone, let me leave the crack alone, let me leave the hash alone, let me leave the heroin alone, let me leave the 40 ounces alone, let me leave this alone. You know what, my community, this, that, and the other, all these abandoned and burnt out row houses in Baltimore. If a Black developer or whatever the case may be came through and been like, you know what, this is my community, let me get my community together. It's a lot of knuckleheads out here who can't get a job because they got criminal records, but I can employ these brothers, give them skills, put a paycheck in their pockets and their bank accounts, teach them financial literacy and all this, that, and the other. They can be productive citizens of this city, county, state, and country, which lets them get some type of, you know what, I can do this mentality, and I can do this for my community, and I can build my community. Then you have a better foundation. Therefore, they can say, you know what, hey, we did this, we built this, let's keep our dollars right here, let's build this up. That way, you know what, we got a voice in the city. Now that we have a voice in the city, we got a voice in the county. Now that we have a voice in the county, we got a voice in the state. Now that we got a voice in the state, let's send somebody up there that looks like us, that represents us, to the Senate and the House. Okay, now that we got all of that intact, you know what? What can they tell us? Nothing. What can we say? We cannot say that we don't have a part in this. We can't say that. We can't say that this is put our foot down from bottom going up. Not only that, you know what? Antoine Smith, little brother right here, came from a little broken home or whatever the case may be. He wants to be city council. Bet. Shaquana Graves, she wants to be the mayor. Antoine Brookins, he want to be the governor. James McElroy, he wants to run for Senate. Okay, now we got some voices. Now we already got our black dollars circulating because we did this from the ground. We got all of this now. Now we got these voices. Now we got these positions. You know what? If you look at the Senate and the House of Representatives and you look at how many are that look like us, the numbers are small. Why? Because don't nobody want to be a part of the system because they think the system is so corrupt. But no, I'm telling you, if we had more people in the House and Senate that look like us, I promise you that jackass in office would not have been able to get away with half the bullshit that he got away with. I promise you that. Angela says we need to stick together and make the system work. We have to learn to finance each other because other cultures don't rely on bank loans, true, which we know is flawed in lending practices. We allow them to block out us financially.
Yeah.
I 100% agree with that. Kish, you go ahead and you can jump on that.
I fully, when Angela's comment pulled out, I was like, honey, yes, she is speaking facts for real, because it is true. That's usually some of the things that suppress us is the finances, that, you know, we don't have that flow of income, to help support us, case in point, hope I'm not going too off topic, is with the COVID situation. They say that it's affecting more of the minorities and Hispanics. In Connecticut, where I'm located, they can tell us what cities are, or what area of the city is more affected, which again is the prominently Black and Hispanic community. But why is that? Because a lot of them don't have the ability to work from home. So what are they doing? They're out in the fast food industry working, or they're out in the customer facing industry. And so that, again, puts us at risk, right? That puts us more at risk because we're not in position to be at home, or we didn't have the finances to say, you know what, I'm not risking my life. I'm staying home. So I fully support what Angela is saying, that they do block us financially for sure. I mean, for sure, 100% on that.
I think you both have made very valid points. Again, my thing is we could argue these topics back and forth. But my thing is I want everyone to respect everyone else's opinion. They're entitled to that. Again, we don't have to agree. We just have to agree to listen to each other's point of view, and that's it. I could go on about the black dollar and the power of the black dollar. We have so much spending power that is ridiculous. But if we keep thinking that they keep blocking us, if we keep thinking we can't do this, we can't do that, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're absolutely right.
You want to touch on her comment?
One of the real parts of the problem is there are still too many people in our community still expecting and waiting for handouts. They want our community to thrive, but they don't have anything to put in the pot, and they blame someone else for it. I agree with you. I think there are plenty of people like that. Me, myself, I think people have me twisted to a certain extent because they think when I say that I don't support the system, they mean I'm saying I go against the system. I'm just simply saying the system isn't for me. Just because it's not for me, that doesn't mean it's for you. It's not for you. Again, I'm the type that I believe it's all about choice. If you choose to partake in that, then again, I applaud you because something within you is saying, this is for me. But you can't be mad at me because I say that it's not for me. That's my choice. That's what the universe is telling me. It's not for me. So we can go again back and forth about well, it's people like you that make it rough on the rest of us. How the hell am I making it rough on you because I choose not to participate? That's like me and you being a part of the police department. one of us is dirty. The other one's clean as hell. He does everything by the book. He's fair. He's embodies true justice. So because one of us is dirty and one of us is clean, the one that's clean or dirty, the other one automatically think that that person is wrong. You get what I'm saying? It's like if you're the dirty cop and I'm the clean cop, and you commit all these crimes, but you still wear this badge that's saying that you were sworn to protect and serve. But I go along with you and I don't participate in the things that you do. You're still saying that I'm wrong. I hope I illustrated that enough for you.
I personally want to say that I don't see anybody in the comments unless there's another platform for comments, but I don't think anyone is saying that you're even wrong saying the system's not for us. It's not. But I think what we're kind of saying is that we need to make it work for us because we have a right too. So I don't think anyone is shaming you for not voting, but it's more of we do need a voice at the table and we do need to be part of the system to make changes for our community. So I don't know if there's any other platforms that people are shaming you on that, but I don't see that here. It sounds to me like everybody's saying we need to stick together and, make it better for our community. That's the consensus that I get. And that's how I feel too. I just feel that, we should stick together and we need to make moves for our community. And it kind of sounds like, even though you're not saying it like that, that's kind of what you're saying in so many ways that, we can do this for ourselves. And I applaud you for that. We can. We're stronger than that. Agreed.
So Katrina says, X, we have so much power in the dollar from the Black community, but when we need to stop spending it and take a stand, we just don't stick together. And to that, we should.
I totally agree with you.
That kind of boils down to financial literacy and a whole bunch of other things that we're definitely going to touch on at a later date. But, as a culture, we're so materialistic that it makes no sense. And that goes back to me saying it's not the system, it's us. And I'm going to say we can't, because the big majority of us are very materialistic. Instead of us thinking about generational wealth and passing something down to our kids, and I'm not saying that about us three, but if you look out into the world, you got 50 Cent and French Montana fighting over who got the better Bugatti. Like, really?
Yeah.
Like, come on now. That's what y'all doing. We out here struggling or whatever the case may be. Y'all got y'all's. Okay, good. But I'm not asking for a handout from you, but can you do anything that's going to help me understand that, there are certain things that I can do or need to do? I watched the Breakfast Club, DJ Envy, he does real estate courses. He does them, in several places, and he's passing that knowledge down to other Black people or whoever the hell wants to join in on that. But the thing is, he's bringing that contribution back to the community to where, people can learn, and it's up to you, that person that's there or not there, to say, you know what, let me dabble in that. Let me see what I can do in that. Let me see if I can, make a way in that. And, the problem is, again, if people are saying it ain't for me, it ain't for me, well, what the hell is for you? Cheryl says, I think what makes great dialogue is that we share different and sometimes opposing opinions. We learn from each other. Definitely true. And I'll let y'all jump in on that comment.
Again, the one of the main reasons why me and King started, this show, this podcast, however you want to put it, it was because we believe that only through dialect, only through conversation, whether you agree or disagree, at least it's out there. You know, we're not going to get anywhere by just keeping our thoughts to ourselves.